Whatever else can be said, RWBY Volume 7 is by far the most narratively rich and far-reaching and ambitious volume of the show to date. Any other volume would have only had half these plot points padded out with repeated exposition and hollow action scenes. But here's the thing. Dense doesn't mean better. The problems were there from the start. The first episode was supposed to be in Volume 6, but was placed here because it fits better with the look we would get at Mantle and Atlas. To the show's credit, we get that look to a far greater extent than we've seen any other locale in the series, but something just felt off. Maybe it's the new writers. Maybe it's Jason Liebrecht's inconsistent performance as Crow. Maybe, much like the real main character, everything is buckling under its own weight. Maybe it's because the story sense of the writers is bumping shoulders with their narrow worldview. Maybe all the controversies Rooster Teeth has had to deal with in the last 12 months has thoroughly tarnished the rose-tinted glasses we could view the series in. Don't get me wrong, I did like this volume, and with few exceptions, that enjoyment was pretty thorough. But I couldn't escape this dull, drumming metronome in which all the plot points click together like a poorly made watch. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the election subplot. Robin Hill's semblance is so common knowledge that the other council members know about it, but not only did nobody tell Team RWBY before they were assigned to bring her in, but Jacques brought her in for no reason, knowing full well that her semblance could ruin him. Not only that, but she doesn't use it to find out what happened at her rally, nor does it flash red when Ironwood lies about Amity Tower being ready. Without her semblance not working in that moment, we wouldn't have had Ironwood vs. Watts, any of the Tyrion fights, or anything else after episode 11. And that's disregarding how every single line in action from Robin gives Volume 5 a run for its money.
It's taking a very long time for this show to get to the good part. Shut up.
He's right.
And that's as good a time as any to talk about voice acting. Oh, the returning cast members are fine. Jason Rose especially adds way more pathos to Ironwood than I thought we'd ever get.
You can label me whatever you'd like, but the fact of the matter is, I was right!
The main cast is about the same, but Jessica Negri gets the most improved award. She's like an actual voice actress now with actual emotions outside of smugness.
And I refuse to starve.
Too bad it took 7 volumes, but better late than never. The new cast members don't do so hot. Jason Liebrecht swings wildly between sounding exactly like Vic Mignogna.
You don't know my friends. That's how it always goes.
To sounding nothing like him.
We're almost back to Atlas. Let's talk to James personally.
Marrow is fine, but the rest of the Aesops sound like the RT janitorial staff, and Christina Villa's Robin is... oh boy, I do not get the hype around her. She has PS1 FMV voice, and this is by far the worst performance I've seen from her.
Yep. Still here, everyone.
Now let's get political and talk about all the reasons this doesn't work as allegory and why none of the writers know anything about the 2016 election. Robin Hill is portrayed as a populist candidate with Jacques only appealing to elites. Trump was the actual populist and Hillary's main voting base came from New York and California where the media has a stranglehold over public discourse. Take out New York and LA and Hillary would have lost the popular vote too. Jacques only won because Watts hacked the election. There's zero evidence the 2016 elections were hacked by anyone, much less Russians. The only evidence of any interference was the arrest of a couple Russian citizens for sharing anti-Hillary propaganda on Facebook. The Mueller report verifies this. Robin's whole motivation involves fixing the wall. I shouldn't need to explain why that muddles the allegory. There's only 3 faunists at Robin's rally, 2 working security and the other is fucking Tyrion. Far from the inclusive hero of the poor and disenfranchised she's supposed to be. The election subplot falls apart at the end because Willow just so happened to be in Jacques' office with the recording of him and Watts already ready and just waiting for Weiss to come there for no reason. It's too tidy and tight is what I'm saying. Would I have preferred Watts just sitting on his thumbs until it's time to hack Atlas's network? Probably not. But that's why this seems off. It's good in a way other volumes weren't, but it's not good enough to posit any real interest. Because of that, so much of this is dull. The first episode in Schnee Manor was especially dull and pointless to a level I haven't seen since Volume 5. But at least the fights were good for the most part. The Grimm are still a waste. Now the Goliaths are treated as fodder. The only fights that made me really hyped were Ironwood vs. Watts and the Cinder fight. RWBY vs. Aesops had some great beats, but also some minor issues that aren't so much issues as they are hard pills to swallow. But that's a video for another day. And the Tyrion fights were, as stated before, predicated on some of the stupid stupidest bullshit we've seen since Cinder and Raven teamed up to squander any potential either character had. Oh, and how about those ships? This volume ruined Bumblebee. I liked Bumblebee. I made numerous videos defending all the Atom stuff last volume. I did a 25-minute video analyzing the ship on top of talking about it in my prior Valentine's Day specials. But God, both of these characters were insufferable, and all their moments came at the expense of far more interesting and underdeveloped relationships. Renora finally became canon, but then the show did everything in its power to botch all the development they've had together. Meanwhile, Lucky Charms... Sorry, I just burst out in laughter anytime I think of all the salty dumbasses who thought this was actually romantic. When Robin is comforting him because that's what friends do. Oh, so when a hetero pairing does it, they're just friends, but when a gay pairing does it, they're in love. Explains the cognitive dissonance these clowns have when comparing Black Sun with pre-Volume 7 Bumblebee. So, final verdict, nothing pissed me off quite as much as the Blake stuff in Volume 4 or the tournament stuff in Volume 3. So I'd say it's better than those, but the fact I did have stuff that pissed me off means I can't put it above Volume 6. Fantastic action, ambition, and an uncharacteristic amount of depth and nuance can only do so much to fix the blatant stupidity of some of these plot points. Thank you all for watching again, and until next time, I'm Mediocrity4. Thanks for watching.